Namaste friends. Bridge course standard 10th subject English, day 28. We are continuing the same competency statement what we have studied in last video, day 27. Competency statement number 14, write an essay. Today's learning outcome: to enable the students to think coherently and express it in writing form, reflecting their novelty and creativity. So first, development of writing skill. How to develop writing skill? So for developing writing skill, these 4 steps are essential. You have to read extensively beyond your textbooks. Whatever you get, you read it. So when you read the other books, maybe informative, biographies, autobiographies and other books besides your textbook, so you will get vast knowledge. Then number 2, think on the read topics and express your thoughts. So when you read something, you have to think on it. So thinking skill is also important. Thinking process is important. What you read, you have to think on it and you have to express your thoughts, your opinions on the read topics. Then step number 3, you have to use some quotes or quotations, some proverbs to highlight your thoughts. So it will be good for readers to understand what you exactly want to say. So there will be coherence and logical thinking reflected through your thoughts. Then number 4, participate in various essay competitions. So this experience of participating in various competitions will enrich your experience of writing on various topics, and that way it will be habit for you, and this habit will make you prosper in achieving mastery in this language. While writing an essay, these 4 things, while writing stage, these 4 things or 4 steps are important. When you start writing an essay, first give your essay or give it a suitable title. This is very important. Do not forget to give a title. Then, if it is a guided essay, guided composition, then you have to consider all the given points coherently in proper logical sequence. So there should be natural flow of understanding from the reader's point of view. So there should be coherence, or you should write coherently. Use the proper logical sequence. So if necessary, you have to reorganize the given points if they are not in proper sequence. If you think so, you can reorganize it. If it is an expansion of thought, then you have to think, because points are not given in expansion of thought, such kind of essay. You have to think and organize the points in your own way. So as I told you in the previous step, you need to read extensively and think on the read topics, so that helps you to use your own points in appropriate context in the particular situation or connecting to the topic. But if it is guided composition, then the given point should be sequenced in proper logical way and coherently. Then number 3, use grammar structures appropriately. So this is also important and it needs a lot of writing practice. Then number 4, use proper tense structure considering the situation. For example, if you want to write, suppose the situation is you want to write the frequent happening. So which tense will you use for pointing out or showing the frequent happenings, repetitions of the actions? So simple present tense. If there are 2 past events you want to write in your essay, so which tenses will you use to pointing out or to explain 2 past events? So for the recent past you have to use simple past tense, and for the earlier past you have to use past perfect tense in the same sentence. So in this way the tense in appropriate context or situation is to be used by the student or the writer who writes an essay. So these things are important. Your attention please. This is very important. When writing an essay, use grammar structures in following situations. Suppose this is the first grammar structure, not only but also, or its option as well as. So you can use these structures for pointing out two different subjects or two different actions or two different objects. You can use if clause or unless the sentence structure for showing different conditions. Number 3, either or. This grammar structure is to be used for showing two different nouns or two different actions in assertion or in acceptance. Then number 4, neither nor. This grammar structure can be used for showing negation or disagreement or absence or refusal, etc. Number 5, these linking words or discourse markers, linkers, when, whenever, as soon as, no sooner than, can be used for showing time of action. This is very important. And degrees of comparison, positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree should be used appropriately for comparison, for different kinds of comparisons. So you have already studied these topics, so you have to use them wisely in appropriate context and in appropriate situation, so that will make your writing effective, make your essay meaningful. It will be coherent, it will be easy to understand from reader's point of view. Now friends, one important instruction: in your SCRT PDF there is a big problem in today's activity. The steps are not given in logical sequence. In learning activity they have given the instructions. If you refer SCRT PDF and then solved activity is given, in it question number 1 is framed in a wrong way, and in practice activity what could have been given in learning activity is given in practice activity after the solved activity. So the sequence is completely changed. We have to reorganize the things, and so that will be easy. So consider in video learning activity what is given here in the PDF practice activity, that is actually learning activity. So these are the things in a wrong way they are printed here. The sequence is changed, but we can understand after reading these steps we can reorganize for our better understanding. So this instruction was important for your understanding only. Then learning activity: write an essay on my hobby by using the points. What is your hobby? Why do you like it? What are its benefits to you? How do you give your time for keeping your hobby? Who helps you to keep your hobby? What is your message to others through your hobby? Add your own points. So this is a guided composition or guided essay, because these questions are the clues or hints for developing your essay. So now the answer is also given because it's a learning activity. Just read it. The title is given, My Hobby. Hobbies play an important part in your life. They keep us busy in spare hours and make life happy. They make us forget our worries and give us inspiration. They make life interesting and pleasant. They give us energy and teach us the dignity of labor. All hobbies are useful in one way or the other, but the one I like most is gardening. I have recently developed a taste for it. It is both pleasant and economical. I have always had a love for nature and have admired flowers and plants, but I have never before felt the real joy they afford to the human mind. It is only now that I learn what store of knowledge they have for us. Gardening gives us a lot of exercises. It teaches us to work with our own hands. It brings us into close contact with nature. It is a pleasure to dig the earth, to make flower beds and dig canals for water. All this is very interesting. This kind of physical exercise is delightful and enjoyable. We also learn of the diseases of plants and their remedies. We can't know and understand all this by reading books only. In gardening, we read the very book of nature. Gardening adds to the beauty of the spot. The barren place begins to change its looks. The plants bring forth buds which blossom into lovely flowers of different colors. It lends a charm to the whole site. The flowering creepers, the green grass and the green hedge make the place so attractive. We know that it is the fruit of earth. On the level, we feel the real joy of it. Gardening adds to our comfort and health. We enjoy the fresh air, the cool breeze and the pleasant shade of trees. The sweet smelling flowers make the air fragrant. It refreshes the brain and invigorates the body. So, this specimen of an essay has been already given here in learning activity and for comprehension of the essay, a few questions are given in solved activity. The first question, it needs to be edited, so I have edited it. Tell the names of the hobbies that you know. Here the question is given, tell the names of the hobbies mentioned in the essay. So it is printed in a wrong way as the answer is given below. So the question should be in this way, tell the names of the hobbies that you know, and then the answer is perfect. Drawing, painting, gardening, here the mistake, grading is given, it is gardening. Stamp collection, photography, reading, sewing, crafts and cooking, and there can be many more. The answer may differ from person to person or student to student. Second question, what is the writer's hobby mentioned in the essay? So here what the essay we have read in the specimen, the writer's hobby is gardening mentioned in this specimen essay. Then last question, what gives immense pleasure to us? Gardening gives immense pleasure to us. So in this way you also can frame some more questions for your understanding after reading this specimen essay. Friends, now practice activity. You have to write 2 paragraphs or 15 sentences approximately on the topic a diary. You know, a diary can be very useful. It's a good habit to keep a diary. You can record past, present and future in it. Important dates and secrets can be written in a diary. If you don't have a diary, use your imagination and write 2 paragraphs or 15 sentences about a diary. For writing this essay, you have been given 2 supports. Support number 1, some contextual vocabulary, some words as contextual vocabulary is given in a box. You can use these words necessarily. And second support, for coherent thought process, questions have been provided. So think, considering these questions in mind, and try to explore the answers. So this will help you to write your essay effectively. The words given in the box: record, write, important, pages, things, school, nobody, can read, every day, happy things, sad things, happens, table, sit down, under, pillow. And for thought process, what does it look like inside and outside? What is the cover like? Does it have any writing in it? What is it about? What do you write in it? Why do you write it? Where do you keep it? Do you let people read your diary? Why? Or why not? So you can add few things if you are actually writing a diary. So those who have been writing a diary, they will write it more effectively. Those who do not write, they have to think on this process, and they can write by imagining as they are writing. So this was practice activity. Now extension activity. This is information transfer, non-verbal to verbal. So here a web diagram is given. You have to read it and convert it into a paragraph. Give it a suitable title. Books have the power to inspire and do many more things. Observe the web diagram and convert the information into a paragraph. Add a few more points to the given information. So the web is, the word in the center is books, teach, knowledge, inspiration, pleasure, motivate. Now what we have discussed in the beginning of today's activities, the steps while thinking and the steps while writing an essay, whatever the kind of essay is, it is narrative or it is information transfer or character sketch, describing, you have to follow all these steps in appropriate way. So here for writing about the books, how they are useful to us, how they enrich our knowledge, how they inspire, how they give us pleasure, how the readers are motivated, how we are motivated by reading the books. In the few previous videos I have already insisted on Wings of Fire and Ignited Minds by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. There are many more such authors, the great personalities who have inspired millions of young minds in India through their writings. So such books are really a great heritage for us. You can use some quotes related to books and the importance of reading books. You can use some proverbs. So this will be added flavor for the reader and it will be more effective and enriched essay. So this is an extension activity. So with this, at the end of today's activity, write your takeaway note, what you learned in today's activity. Thank you.